In this video, we will go over methods that stick. Your learning objective is to learn commonly used methods in qualitative research and identify the strengths and limitations of each. Let's start off this topic by playing in other words. What is a methodology? Take a minute to write down what methodology means to you. Put simply, a methodology is the framework that guides the research approach. It is your overarching research strategy. This differs from the term methods, which are the specific tools and techniques used within that framework or methodology. So let's say you want to study how often people go to the doctor for regular checkups. Your methodology may be mixed methods if you're combining both qualitative and quantitative approaches. This methodology would include studying something you can measure, like number of regular checkups. This would provide the quantitative side. The methodology would also include the qualitative side, like learning about patient experiences through interviews. The methods describe the tools you used to collect or analyze the data. So in this example, there are both quantitative and qualitative tools. It is the combination of both these approaches that would make this study a mixed methods methodology. Here are some common methods that are broken down into 3 different approaches. Structured methods have predefined frameworks that are followed strictly. The questions are often closed-ended and specific, like asking the same questions in the same order to all participants. These structured methods include surveys, interviews, focus groups, observations, and document review. Semi-structured methods use a mix of predetermined questions and have some flexibility to explore topics more in depth. The questions are often open-ended, allowing for elaboration. These include surveys, interviews, focus groups, listening sessions, and observations. Unstructured methods have no predefined set questions or structure. The conversation is usually open-ended, allowing participants to guide and direct the process. These include surveys, interviews, focus groups, listening sessions, observations, and audiovisuals. So let's delve further into these. Interviews are one-on-one conversations where the researcher explores participants' perspectives in depth. Interviews are great for getting insight in a detailed manner and understanding individual experiences. Focus groups are group discussions led by a moderator to gather diverse perspectives on a specific topic. Focus groups are beneficial because they allow interaction among participants, which can uncover group norms and generate rich data. Typically, a focus group consists of 4 to 8 participants and follows preset questions to guide the discussion. In virtual settings, 3 to 7 participants is considered ideal. In focus groups, data tends to become similar because of groupthink, as opinions being shared often overlap. Keep in mind that when you analyze data from focus groups, the unit of analysis is the focus group, not the number of total participants. So you would technically get more information from 2 focus groups of 4 participants rather than 1 focus group of 8 participants. An interview is better suited when groups inhibit responses. Sensitive topics are being discussed. More in-depth conversation is helpful, and researchers have more resources. A focus group is better when group settings stimulate responses. Less individual input is required, and when there are limited funds, logistic issues, and results are needed quickly. Moderators play an important role in probing participants and stimulating group conversation. They must remain neutral with their reactions and avoid strong displays of agreement or disagreement. Probing phrases are non-leading and open-ended to help get the discussion going. You can start off with an easy question, then lead into 4 to 6 questions that were developed beforehand about the topic. You can control dominant talkers by thanking them for their input and asking for others to share. You can call on quiet participants by inviting them by saying something like, "We'd like everyone to get a chance to participate. What would you like to add?" Some other phrases that could be useful are, "What is an example of what you are describing?" "What would you suggest as a solution?" "Tell me more." A key piece here is to be comfortable with silence. The moderator does not always have to fill the silence and should allow group dynamics to unfold naturally. These are considered nonverbal probes. Listening sessions are open-ended group discussions aimed at understanding participants' experiences and concerns. They are less structured than focus groups and allow for free-flowing conversation guided by a facilitator. Listening sessions are excellent for building trust and capturing a wide range of perspectives within the community. They are commonly used in government, and they typically last between an hour to an hour and a half. Groups of 5 to 8 participants are ideal, ensuring that everyone has time to talk. A key difference from focus groups is that listening sessions are more about gathering input from a wide range of people rather than studying the group interaction. Here an example of some questions to ask in a listening session. What are the problems? What are the consequences? Who is affected? How can the barriers be overcome? What resources are needed? What are alternatives for addressing the problem? Here is an example of active participation in group settings and how input from participants can be visualized. Unlike structured surveys, open-ended surveys allow respondents to answer in their own words, providing rich qualitative data. These can be part of larger surveys or standalone open-ended question. Oftentimes you'll see at the end of the survey, "Is there anything else you'd like to say?" This is an example of that. Questions can be asked in a structured way where you may want to do frequency counts, and that can be useful for analyzing complex constructs or topics and can be complementary to other qualitative methods. Surveys can uncover unexpected insights and often deeper understanding of participants' thoughts and experiences. Open-ended questions can provide information that is not expected. They are typically used in market or consumer research and valuable in public health research as well. With closed-ended questions, oftentimes what you expect is what you get. By making questions open-ended as opposed to preset answer choices, we allow participants to really drive the data. This wraps up the commonly used methods in qualitative data. Here are helpful resources for you to explore further.